What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Kramer, and I am a real estate investor who specializes in midterm rentals. And as you know, tax season is coming up. And if you own just one rental property, let alone multiple, you know that this time of year can get messy. You're digging through spreadsheets, trying to find receipts. Your CPA is asking you for your Schedule E and your balance sheet and your P&L. Trust me, I've been there. So in this video, I'm gonna show you exactly how I organize everything inside of Baselane to make tax season dramatically easier. And yes, this video is sponsored by Baselane, and they have an exclusive bonus for you, so make sure you stay till the end. And just so you know, I've personally been using Baselane since 2023. So I'm gonna walk you through exactly how I use these tools to make tax season way easier. All right, let's jump in. So right now I'm in my Baselane dashboard, but let's go ahead and jump over to the Tax Center tab. This is what saves me the most amount of time during tax season. So inside the Tax Center, you'll see this thing that says configure your tax package. This essentially allows you to download your Schedule E, your transaction ledger, your net cash flow report, and all of your receipts in literally the click of a button, either through a CSV file or a PDF, which you can then send directly to your accountant. So instead of compiling all these different things from multiple bank accounts, spreadsheets, and Google Drive folders, it's all here in one place and can be downloaded literally within seconds. So if you've ever emailed your CPA back and forth 5 different times asking for different documents, this will eliminate it because it has everything they're going to need. And what's cool too is if you look over here in the transaction breakdown section, they show all of your categorized transactions, which by the way are automatically categorized based on AI tagging rules that you set, which makes it really nice because you don't have to scramble to try to just clean up your books over the past year. Baselane helps you stay organized from day one. Another thing that's super helpful, especially as you scale, is how you structure your accounts. You can instantly open separate checking and savings account for each property, which is exactly what I do. Or you can also create additional accounts to keep things like security deposits if you want. So as you can see here, I have a checking account for this one property, and then I have a savings account for that same property as well. And what's really nice is these savings accounts are high yield savings accounts. So your cash that's just sitting there on the sideline is at least earning something and not just doing nothing. So this view makes it super nice because I can basically scroll and see my exact cash balances in each property's checking account and each property's savings account. And then of course I can see the total balance here up top, which is super nice because I just have one login and I don't have to juggle between multiple different softwares. All right, now let's talk about balance sheets, which is an awesome feature if you have one property, and it gets even cooler when you have multiple. And these features are part of Baselane Smart. So most investors know roughly what they're cash flowing, and Baselane also has really cool reports to show you that as well. But most investors don't have a real-time balance sheet across their entire portfolio. But with Baselane Smart, you can generate a balance sheet across your entire portfolio, or you can choose which properties you want to be included. So if you go here to the Properties tab, you can press on Add Property, and you can fill out information about your properties. Of course, I just put in some dummy information. But then you can press on Create Property, and you can press on here, track financial details for this property. And then you can fill out the purchase information, like the purchase price, the purchase date, the down payment, and the closing costs. And we'll get back to this depreciation here in a moment. So if I press on Save and Close, I can then press on View Assets and Liabilities. And then I can go to View Balance Sheet. And of course, this is just an example property, but you'll be able to see your total assets, your total liabilities, your equity in the property, your loan balance, your net worth, and your loan to value ratios. And you can basically choose if you want to see this view for just one property, multiple properties, or even all your properties. And having a clear picture on all this information, and especially your loan to value ratio, can give you heads up on when it's a good time to refinance, which I'm actually doing right now with one of my properties. So instead of just guessing on the equity that you have in your properties, you can actually use this feature to see it firsthand. So balance sheets, they shouldn't just live in a Google Sheet or Excel, and they definitely shouldn't just exist in your CPA software. You should be able to see your financials anytime you want. And on top of that, you can press this download button to download your balance sheet as a CSV or a PDF in case you do need to send it to your accountant. Okay, now let's talk about depreciation because this is where tax planning can get super powerful. Inside Baselane Smart, you can manage cost segregation studies and depreciation schedules directly in the platform. So let's say you had a cost segregation study done on one of your properties, which by the way, I've done that multiple times. So in simple terms, a cost segregation study is going to break down the different components of the property that you purchased, from the land, the building, the appliances, the floors. the fixtures, and basically everything piece by piece and category by category. And then depending on the category, they'll have their own depreciation schedules. Some components will be depreciated over 27.5 years. Some components will be depreciated over 15 years, and others maybe 5 years. But most importantly, once you get this cost segregation study done, what you can do is go inside of Baselane and input the depreciation details based on your report. So it's asking me, will this asset depreciate? I'm going to click it yes. And then what you do is you'd input the information just as you see on your cost segregation report. So the accelerated depreciation, the start date, the useful life that it says. So we'll just say 15 years for this one. And again, you can fill out all this information. And then you'll be able to track the year-to-date depreciation, the accumulated depreciation, and the asset level breakdowns. So this doesn't replace your CPA. It just gives you visibility so that you can actually understand and see what's happening inside your portfolio, which again makes tax time much simpler. Okay, now let's talk about how this actually stays organized throughout the year. So if I go here to the Transactions tab, transactions are automatically categorized using AI tagging and rules that you set up. So for example, let's just say you get charged from Spectrum for a property. And since I do midterm rentals, I pay for the Wi-Fi. So what I can do is I can select the category, and this one would fall under internet. And then I can go ahead and create rule and make a rule. So anytime the description is Spectrum, I can automatically categorize that as internet. And then I can go ahead and press on save. And that way, anytime I get a charge from Spectrum, it will automatically classify it as internet. And you can basically set up rules like that for any type of expense, whether it's utilities, your mortgage payment, or even income like rent. And another key component of this too is you can set up rules for the property that it should get tagged to. Because as we talked about before, each property can have its own bank account. So I can essentially set up a rule that anytime that specific property's bank account has a deposit or withdrawal, it'll automatically tag that property over here. And that makes reporting super easy. You can also upload physical receipts. So if you click on this upload receipts button, it'll automatically match it to the corresponding transaction. And of course, you can edit it as well. So as you can see here by all the diamonds, those represent that the AI did categorize these expenses for me. So I didn't have to do a lot of work, to say the least. So this saved me a ton of time. One last quick feature I want to touch on, because I could be here all day, is the rent collection feature. You can essentially set up rent collection using the exact payment terms that you included on your lease, and then your tenants can log in to their own secured portal, and they can either schedule out their payments and receive reminders automatically. And what's super great is that rent can be deposited inside your Baselane account in as fast as 2 days. And as you can see here, I have one processing that should be deposited tomorrow. And another reason why I like using this versus Venmo or Zelle is you can automate adding late fees and of course track everything from this one dashboard. So at the end of the day, tax season, which feels like it's always tax season, should not feel chaotic. You should have a clear breakdown of your income, your expenses, your assets, your liabilities, and your depreciation without digging through multiple systems and multiple spreadsheets. Baselane combines banking, bookkeeping, and rent collection into one platform built specifically for real estate investors. If you want to check it out yourself, head over to the link in the description to sign up for Baselane and get a $100 cash bonus. If this was helpful, drop a comment down below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.